Welcome to Time for Gardening, the channel where we bring the beauty of classic garden styles into modern spaces, no matter how small. If you love tiny gardens, romantic flowers, and the timeless charm of a French garden, then you're in the right place. Spring is finally here, and there's no better way to embrace its beauty than by stepping into a tiny French garden filled with enchanting spring flowers. Imagine waking up to the gentle hum of bees hovering over delicate petals, the crisp morning air carrying the soft, intoxicating fragrance of hyacinths. A light breeze sways the blooms, casting a delicate dance of shadows on the cobbled path. The sun peeks through climbing roses, casting a golden glow over your secret sanctuary. You take a deep breath, letting the scent of fresh earth and dew-kissed blossoms fill your senses, transporting you to the heart of the French countryside. The romance of the setting lingers in the air, inviting you to sit on a wrought-iron bench and sip a warm cup of tea, completely lost in the tranquility of nature. It's a place where time slows down, where worries dissolve into the rhythm of rustling leaves and chirping birds. In this video, we'll show you how to bring this timeless elegance into your own outdoor haven. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear about your dream garden. A French garden is not just about plants. It's about curating an atmosphere that feels effortlessly elegant and poetic. Picture an old stone fountain tucked between clusters of hyacinths and anemones, its gentle trickle adding a soothing soundtrack to your garden retreat. A weathered wooden trellis, entwined with early blooming clematis, frames a rustic table where you set down a book, its pages fluttering in the breeze. A delicate china teacup rests beside you, the scent of freshly steeped lavender tea mingling with the floral perfume in the air. Every step along the gravel pathway unveils a new vignette, an antique lantern nestled among lush greenery, a rustic wooden crate overflowing with delicate white anemones. The interplay between soft floral arrangements and structured elements creates a captivating balance, one that embodies the romance of the French countryside. In a tiny French garden, every detail tells a story, each petal a whisper of spring's arrival. No spring garden is complete without the mesmerizing beauty of hyacinths. These springtime gems emerge like tiny clusters of magic, their lush, bell-shaped blossoms painting the landscape in hues of lavender, pink, and deep indigo. Imagine stepping outside in the morning and being greeted by their sweet, almost honey-like fragrance, a scent so powerful it lingers in the air long after the sun has set. You bend down to touch the velvety petals, feeling the cool dew that clings to them in the early hours. Their upright stems stand proudly, creating a sense of structure and formality in your tiny garden. Yet their softness adds a whimsical touch. Planted in terracotta pots or along winding borders, hyacinths have a way of drawing you in, tempting you to pause and savor their presence. Their deep hues contrast beautifully with the pale pastels of surrounding blossoms, creating a picture-perfect scene reminiscent of Monet's springtime paintings. With just a few bulbs, You can transform even the smallest space into a romantic garden escape that awakens the senses. Anemones are the quiet poets of the garden, their delicate petals fluttering with every whisper of the wind. These exquisite blooms, often called windflowers, bring a sense of movement and grace to any tiny French garden. Imagine running your fingertips over their silky petals, so thin they seem almost translucent under the morning light. A single drop of rain clings to the edge of a petal, glistening like a tiny crystal before rolling into the soil. Their deep purple and soft pink hues contrast beautifully against the structured clusters of hyacinths, creating a romantic symphony of color. As the sun begins to set, the anemones close slightly, as if bowing to the day's end, preserving their beauty for tomorrow's light. They thrive in both garden beds and pots, making them perfect for balconies, patios, or the smallest patch of green. Watching them sway, their delicate heads nodding as if in conversation with the wind, is a mesmerizing experience, a true gift of nature's artistry. Creating a romantic garden means crafting a space that invites you to linger, to dream, to escape into nature's embrace. Picture a hidden nook in your garden, framed by potted lavender and a vintage wrought-iron bench, where you can lose yourself in the pages of a classic novel. A small bistro table sits nearby, topped with a delicate lace cloth and a vase of freshly picked hyacinths and anemones, their perfume blending with the scent of warm bread drifting from your kitchen. A pair of butterflies flutters past, landing briefly on the petals before continuing their playful dance in the sunlight. The key to a truly enchanting tiny French garden is layering textures and heights, combining tall, wispy blooms with trailing ivy, punctuated by rustic stone accents and timeless decorative touches. With a touch of imagination, even the most modest outdoor space can be transformed into a storybook setting. In a tiny French garden, container gardening is the secret to maximizing beauty in small spaces. Picture hyacinths blooming in rustic terracotta pots, their earthy tones enhancing the vibrant hues of the flowers. A vintage wooden wine crate, repurposed as a planter, spills over with delicate anemones, their petals brushing against the sides like a painter's gentle strokes. Hanging baskets add height and interest, transforming even a simple balcony into a lush paradise. By layering different containers, stone urns, aged clay pots, and metal buckets, you can create a visually dynamic space that feels both elegant and inviting. The beauty of container gardening is its versatility, allowing you to move and rearrange your flowers to suit the changing light and seasons. Beyond flowers, it's the little details that bring a French garden to life. An antique birdcage now entwined with ivy becomes a focal point, adding an air of mystery and history to your space. A delicate string of fairy lights drapes over a pergola, casting a warm golden glow as the sun sets behind the rooftops. A stone birdbath filled with rainwater invites feathered visitors, bringing the garden to life with their cheerful songs. These small accents, from vintage watering cans repurposed as vases to a rustic bench nestled beneath a canopy of blooms, create a setting that feels like a secret escape. Each element plays a role in telling a story, turning your tiny French garden into a haven of beauty and serenity. A beautiful garden thrives on gentle care and patience. Imagine starting your day with a quiet moment in your tiny French garden, a warm cup of coffee in one hand and a watering can in the other. Soft sunlight filters through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the soil as you tend to your spring flowers. Hyacinths and anemones prefer well-draining soil and a sunny spot to thrive, their blooms lasting longer with the right balance of water and light. Pruning spent flowers encourages fresh growth, ensuring your garden stays vibrant all season long. Gardening is not just about results. It's about the simple joy of nurturing life, of watching each bud unfurl into something breathtaking. Now it's your turn to bring the romance of a tiny French garden to life. Every flower, every scent, and every detail has the power to transform even the smallest space into a springtime dream. If you're inspired to start your own French-inspired garden, share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us, what will be the first flower you plant? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss more gardening inspiration. Until next time, happy gardening!